Hey guys, it's Angie and I am back with another sketch from the Creative Memories blog. This one is focusing on borders. So using up some of those border elements you may have in your stash, whether they're laser cut borders or border stickers, or using your punches, your border punches or your BMCs. And this one also focuses on two photos. So I don't know about you guys, but I have a lot of events that I might just snap a couple pictures for, and then I'm kind of wondering what to do with them. There's quite a few sketches out there that showcase more photos, and I just really liked this one that it just does take advantage of showcasing two photos from maybe a small event or something that you're doing. And then the photos too. This one, the one that I'm doing, is going to be portrait. You can also rotate it and make them landscape, but these would also be good for maybe if you have some portrait style photos of some family members, and can also be easily adaptable if you do have three photos or you have more square photos. But I will transfer you over to my desktop and we'll wait for that to load. And again, all right, so here we go. This is the sketch we're working on today, and this one was from 2022, again, from the Creative Memories blog. And again, we can see from this layout that they have two vertical photos. Of course, we could rotate our sketch and make it whichever way suits our photos. And also, again, if you had three photos, you could trim them down a little bit and get three vertical photos to fit there quite nicely. I'm going to stick with the two photos, and I am working with Winter Days. And this was a paper pack that came, I believe it was a promo a few years back. The paper pack and then the laser cut borders came with it. If it came with other things, I don't have it. This is all I have. And I'm working through some papers. So I did pick out my papers. I've got two photos of the kid and I sledding at a local sledding hill here in town. And I have some laser cut borders from the pack to be working with. And this one of them is this really nice one that's basically the title for the page, this Snow Much Fun. And then I'm working with some scraps. So I did have this piece that I am using for my background. So this will be kind of this lighter gray here. Oh, I forgot to grab matte paper. So we will have to grab that in a moment. And I'll have to kind of decide what, I think they did a darker gray around their photo with a light blue matte. I might have to see what mine will work. I might have to just grab my blues. I forgot to grab that. So we're going to figure out what blue to use here on camera. But this one's going to be my background. And I have some strips and scraps of blues. And the bottom there, they have a 2-inch strip. And I think this one was close to 2 inches. Not quite 2 inches. Very just shy. But we're going to be covering up some of that with the border strips anyways. So that's going to go down here. And this, I'm going to cut off this strip, and I believe it was just at 1 inch. Again, just shy of 1 inch. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I can go ahead and trim off this strip. And I am not even going to worry about measuring. I am just going to line up the pre-existing cut line on my mat or on my trimmer. And again, I'm not quite at the 1 inch, it's just shy. So I'm more just making sure my cut is consistently down. And that's going to go at the top. This one's going to come together so quickly, guys. Once you pick out the paper, and I've got some borders and that, and it does, in the example, it's got a more of like a title or a verse on that small sticker strip. I am going to use a border sticker for mine, and I'm going to use this snowflake one. But when I put mine down, I'm going to gap them a little bit because I don't want to cover up so much of this detail with the snowflakes because it is a little bit thicker. So I will leave a little bit of a gap between those. And let's focus on trimming down our photos. Trim down our photos, mat them. This collection, again, I did not have more embellishments or mats for it. So this, I thought this one was really cool, and I'm kind of sad that I didn't have some mats to go with it. So they just took a 4x6 mat and basically spliced it at the 1 inch mark, and then they kind of split it behind these photos here, or on either side of these photo mats here, and did their journaling on one side of them. So it's a little bit of a decorative element. I don't have that mat, so I'm just going to be trimming down some of this paper, and I might grab some journal paper for some journaling there. So let's grab, because I forgot to, let's grab some cardstock to mat with. So let me grab some blue, and I have a few different shades of baby blue. So I'm going to use navy for sure. Let's see which color. Okay, cloud does not work. Baby blue might. Light blue also could. Let's see. The newer paper packs have, up in the corner, they have what colors coordinate with the collection. Since this one came out in 2021, this one does not include it. So I'm not sure which light blue they specifically would recommend for this, but this baby blue could work, or this light blue. Let's see. I think I want to go with the lighter one. And then I pulled out blue, but I don't need that. All right. So that's what we're going to use with some navy to mat the photos. Let's pull those out, set that aside, and let's trim our photos. So we are going to grab our photo trimmer. I love this new guillotine style trimmer that they came out with. If you have one of the older styles, it's awesome too, but this one is great because you can actually cut down, say, a 1/4 inch or so off of your 6-inch photo, and you're not off of the trimmer there. It was too short. So let's see what we're trimming down our photo to. Trimming it down to 5.5. So for this one, I think I'm going to trim it basically all off of this fence up here. That's fine. For this other, oh, I guess I should trim the sides too. And it's down to 3 7/8. And if you are not a ruler type of person, the 7/8 is this one right here. So we are 2 notches away from the 4-inch mark. And again, I think I can just do it all off of this one side. You're not trimming off a whole lot. It is just a thin sliver for that 1/8 of an inch that we're trimming off. For this one, I think I might trim a little bit off of top and bottom. And I think I'll trim off this side for my little 1/8 of an inch sliver. All right, so we've trimmed down our photos. I do need to figure out which way I'm going to go in terms of, I think I'm going to do navy. Very similar to what they did. They did their photo in navy with a blue behind both of them. I might do the same thing. And this is just how I kind of get a quick idea of them. It still separates from the page, or if I did the light blue with the navy. I mean, honestly, I think they both work, but I think the darker behind the photos just works a little bit more. So we're going to go with that. So for our photo mats, let's grab our paper trimmer. For my photo mats, they are 4 inches tall. So I'm going to cut one big strip of 4 inches. And then I can use it for both of them. And these are going to be 5 and 5/8. For a second, I thought I had them backwards, and then, but it's going to work. We got it. Okay, so there is the mats that are going to go directly behind our photos. And then we're going to have a larger mat that goes behind both of them together. And this is just a little mat. Just a little bit of framing of your photos. Okay, and now we want to do our blue, which is going to be, this one shows the dimension over here, so 8.5 wide by 6 tall. I'm going to go ahead and cut it at 6 inches to kind of save the biggest chunk as a scrap, and 8.5 wide. And honestly, again, I think I've said this before, but I truly love it when I have photos that just work, photos and elements that just work for the instructions for the sketch, and I don't have to adapt. I don't have to do anything. I can just follow the instructions. I can just look at the dimensions and cut. Sometimes my photos are a little bit different and I need to adjust, and that's fine too. I think the only thing I'm adjusting is by not using that mat. All right, so there is that. I think the only thing is I actually did, so this is silly, multi-purpose tool to the rescue. I wanted to switch these in case I wanted to put a little title sticker. I was going to put it in this section up here for the other one. Or I could just do it across. There was something I was looking at. It's fine. All right, never mind. We're going to leave it. Because I actually now do like that I'm over here and I'm kind of framing, not looking into the page, but kind of. I'm going to put my strips of paper down. Because these are just going to be part of the background. Piece of tape on me. And then put this one down. I'm going to move this down so you don't have to look at the top of my head. All right, and grab my silicone mat and repositional tape to put this one down so it can go on all these intricate little cutouts, title pieces. And I am going to basically butt up the top edge of this white with the blue edge here. So again, I'm going to kind of turn this so I can see it a little bit better. See what I'm lining up here. And depending on what borders you're using, it might be a little bit different. My strip back here, I think, was a little bit uneven, so I'm just going to kind of see, yeah, it is a little bit even. This height is a little bit higher. And will that bother anyone else? No, probably not, but I am going to adjust it just a smidge. Just bring this portion up and overlap it a little bit more. So a little bit closer to even. I'm going to put, let's see, we're going to mess with these a little bit. So I just want to get kind of an idea, because I could adjust these. This seam is going to get covered up. If I needed to move them up a little bit more, I could. If I wanted to move them down into the blue a little bit more, I could. So I'm just going to kind of put my photos here, and it's going to adjust from left to right based on my 1-inch strip and my 3-inch strip. But I'm just checking right now the height. So if I put that one there, I'm just checking that I'm kind of even between my borders there. And then I can put that, and I'll put a sticker over top. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to bump my little hills up against this bottom 2-inch strip. And again, maybe, I don't know if you can even see that on camera. This edge of this paper was a little bit rough. I think I did a border punch with it before, so there's a little gap there. It doesn't matter. I'm going to cover it up. Let me grab my border sticker that I'm going to use. And I'm going to use this little snowflake, and it really coordinates with this paper that I'm going to use in place of that mat. I don't think it matters upside down or right side up. And I was going to do a little bit of a gap between the borders, but I don't want to see anything. I don't want to see any of the background between any of those. But I was trying not to cover up anything either. I'm trying not to stick it out all the way. I'm just trying to get an idea of where I'm going and what I'm doing. I'm going to do it this way. Let's set that down for a second. And I will put this, I don't know what this is. Looks like kind of a crochet doily edge. Oh, it's brown on the other side. That's cute. I'm going to go with the blue though. I'm going to stick with the blue. I really like to use my mat to line things up. So again, I'm just going to leave a little gap. I mean, I could probably go without doing it, but I'm just doing like 1/8 of an inch just to separate a little bit. And now I'm going to put this guy down, and I'm covering up more of this than the crocheted element here because I want to see all these little dots. So I am just going to line that up all the way across, and I'm going to see a little bit of my background there, but let's see. I need to make sure this guy's even. Even and centered. All right, I think that's about as good as I'm going to be able to get it. So there's that. So our page is mostly done by just a couple strips of scrap paper, some border elements, and matting our photos. Our page is almost done. So what I need to do is get some little pieces of paper for my pretend mat. I am going to trim this to 4 inches this way. It's already trimmed to 4. I need a 4x6 piece. Because again, that's basically what they did. They took one of those smaller mats and trimmed it. So there, now I have a 4x6 inch piece, 4x6, and I'm going to trim 1 inch off for the left side, and then the rest, the 3 inches, will be for the right side. And now I'm just kind of going a little bit rogue to figure out what I'm going to do to journal. Okay, so we were trimming this mat slash piece of paper, And what I'm realizing is we're going to tuck some of this. So really, it's not even 3 inches when we're doing it. I did during the intermission, I grabbed a ink spot and I am going to ink around the edges because the white of this paper kind of blends in with the background paper a bit. So I am just going to edge around the edges of the paper just so it's got a little bit of a darker edge than the white without matting it. And I'm going to let that dry just for a second. I'm always afraid of setting it down. I'm sure it's fine, but I'm always afraid of setting it down on a white piece of paper. But again, so we can just get a little bit better separation. Not sure if you can see that too much on the camera, but it does help a bit. Okay, and I'm going to trim off a little bit of that paper anyways. Again, I think we trimmed it down. I think you're going to only see like 2 inches behind there. But instead of putting that behind there where you might see it tucking out, oh, it's pretty good. Well, I'm still going to trim about an inch off. I'm just going to use my slicer dicer. And I can still tuck some underneath if I need to or want to. Okay, so there is that. And I don't have a mat, so I don't really have a spot to journal. So I did grab some lined paper so I can cut some of that to actually write on. But this was the other little piece. I'm going to kind of make a little mat for my lined paper. Make it into a little tag with my tag punch. So there's that. And then we'll trim some not sure what's going on. My image is looking frozen to me. Okay, it's showing working. On my computer, it is showing frozen. Okay, I don't know where it paused or why it was doing that. And it's still showing a little bit delayed. Okay, it might be working now. All right, I'm going to trim a little bit of this line paper for my tag, my handmade tag. And this is 2 inches. So I'm going to trim it to a little bit thinner than 2 inches. About 1 3/4. And that will go in the center there. And I'm going to trim it. Let's see, where's my handy dandy ruler? See how long I need to make that. About 3 inches. Trim it to 3 inches. Okay. And then we have a cute little handmade tag. And now I'm just kind of going on the fly. Because for our tag, I like to loop things through the little loop there. So now we're kind of going on the fly. I have got a box of some ribbons, but I think I have, oh, here we go. I've got a little bit of twine. And I think I like the darker. Here's a lighter. I think I like the darker. Let's see what else I've got. Nope, we're going to go with that. Oh, we have this too. It's kind of more gold though. All right. We will go with this. So use what you've got in your stash. I'm just going to cut a little bit of the length. And this is how I keep it so it doesn't unwind in my box. I just have a little piece of tape on it. It's not sticky anymore. I'll get a new piece. And I'm going to loop my twine and pull it through. And then just pull the other two ends through, again, just for a little bit of a tag, and then trim off the excess. Okay, so now let's get the rest of this down. So I'm going to put my photo mats down because then I can tuck the other pieces in. If I need to, if I want them more in from the edge of the paper. And again, I'm just kind of centering the top gap here between my snow hill here, and I'm using my diamonds on my paper to kind of line it up. See that I have equal diamonds all the way around, as well as looking at the edge of my paper to make sure it's all straight. And now we can line up this on the edge, as well as this one on the edge. And they are pretty much the equal distance. This one might be a little bit less than this, but good enough for who it is. And then we're going to put that there. So let's put that down. So I've made my own journal box, even though I didn't have a mat to go with it. And now let's take a look at the stickers. The fun part is to embellish. There's so many memories. That's cute. Now I do have so much fun up here already, so I don't want to do too many titles. I could do the snowflakes. That will, or I could do the trees, even though we aren't in like the woods. It kind of brings up the trees from down here. I already used the sled. And I mean, honestly, I'm not going to use any of these things because we don't sled or we don't ski or snowboard. I think I'm going to use these little trees. There's a little cluster of trees here, but that's kind of big. I think I'm just going to layer brown one and the blue one in front. And I could still put the snowflake, but it really kind of blends in. I don't really want to do it in the center. I might do it there. Right up there. It does still kind of blend in, but it's okay. It's kind of half on my picture so you can see it. I wonder if I put it down here on the journal box more, but that's fine. So that is it. This is my layout. Again, I said it before. I love when I can take a sketch and kind of not think about it. And I have the perfect pictures for it, that I can just take the measurements and follow them almost exactly. Again, the only thing I didn't have was the journal box here, but I just took a piece of paper and then created my own journal box tag. So let's switch over. All right. So I hope you take advantage of trying this sketch out for one of your page layouts. If you would like to share a photo of your image, you can join my Facebook group, Angie Scrapbooks. I do a challenge every week for that. So yeah, if you want to watch more videos like this, you can like my YouTube. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, you'll see more. And I'm also trying to plan out some more tips and tricks and tool time fun things too, as well as doing some more blog sketches in the future. All right, so happy scrapping, folks.